Hey y'all, welcome to Critical Thinking. This is a summer 8-week session, and it's a traditional online class. It's not one of those synchronous classes where the class meets once or twice a week over Collaborate. Um, we are going to be talking over the next 8 weeks about how we take in, understand, evaluate, and pass on information, right? So that we know we are working in the fact-based world. That's the plan. Critical thinking looks at argument, how we convince other people of something. It looks at how do we understand the information we are being presented. Um, how do we reason? How do we use logic? It's dead useful, really, in both school and life. Like a class in critical thinking will make you do better in the rest of your classes, but it will also be super helpful when you are trying to buy a car, decide what to watch on Netflix, making one of those pros and cons lists about your next partner. It's just sort of dead useful. And also some of the things we'll do over the semester are kind of fun. I get a lot of students from the different medical programs and the vet tech program here. Um, uh, because both of those programs you get extra points for the intro into the competitive programs. But this class is sort of dead useful for anyone at all, right? Because we're all the time needing to evaluate what we read, write, hear, and see, and what information we should hang on to and what is clearly not logical. So here we go. I make two of these little videos here at the beginning. One that's just about the sort of class business, and I'll put this into the orientation folder. And then the next one will have more of a kind of content-based material, but we're going to start here. What else do you need to know at the very beginning? This is an OER class, Open Educational Resources, which means you didn't need to buy a book. There will be links to the readings and videos I want you to watch in each week's folders. Assignments are going to be due for this class in our regular weekly flow on Wednesdays and Sundays. But I do want to say that for this first week, because we don't start until Wednesday and graduation was yesterday and the previous semester just ended a week ago, all we're going to do in these first couple of days is the orientation, right? And then we will go on to the week of work of the class and our regular sort of week one material, right? Starting on Sunday, that folder will open up and all that information will be there. What else? What are the assignments like in this class? So critical thinking might be a little different from other classes that you've had because we are not necessarily going to be having hard and fast concrete answers to things, right? This class is going to ask you to think and evaluate and reevaluate and clarify a lot. And our assignments are going to reflect that. So for instance, you'll be asked to do an initial post in the discussion forums on Wednesday. On Thursday and Friday, I will respond to each of those and poke at it a bit, right? Trying to get you to make your response more clear, more logical, more thoughtful, right? So you should expect questions. So initial post on Wednesday, and then by Sunday, you're going to need to respond to those clarifying questions I've asked you, as well as to some of your peers. There's also sort of a thoughtful journal that you'll write every week, due on Sunday. And those will be more kind of deeper thinking into what we're doing in that particular moment. This is a 3-credit class, so you should expect to be spending about 6 hours outside of class doing the work of the class. I want to say that I am working on the same Google that you are. So if the responses you give me in any of our written work together is something that I can find on Google because that's where you found it and we are working with the same Google, right? You should expect a big fat 0 for that assignment. Should you do it twice, I'm afraid I will have to report that to the college. So, just don't be that guy, all right? Write your own work. You should expect for sure to have your position on anything we are talking about questioned a bit in this class, right? Because what I'm doing is moving you to a place where you can construct a solid, strong, thoughtful argument, right? So you should expect to have the place you start out from to be questioned a bit. Scholars of philosophy call this process disequilibrium, right? Where you're going to say, I believe this, or I think this. And then I'm going to come along and be like, are you sure? Are you sure? And poke at you a little bit and see if I can knock you off that stance, right? In the hopes that you will begin shoring up that stance more and more with thoughtful reasons and logic. We're going to do some fun things in this class. We're going to do some sometimes hard things in this class. I want to remind everybody that though this is an 8-week class, it contains all the material and all the assignments of a 16-week class, right? And because it's twice as fast, if you should fail to turn in your work for more than a week, you are in danger of being withdrawn from the class. So make sure you stay on top of things. What else? Late policy is on the syllabus, but in general, you get some points taken off for I think the next 5 days following the due date of the assignment if you don't get it in on time. And then after 5 days, I don't take it at all. But I am also living in this crazy world in which we are still just starting to come out from a pandemic. I know that people have lives and that you might be juggling work and childcare and maybe sick family members. So should you have something come up that makes a significant impact on your ability to get the work in, please reach out to me. I swear I pretty much never tell students no when they do that, but you have to ask me in advance, okay? What else? That's it really. Knock out the work in that little orientation folder at the beginning. I'm just going to pull it up here so I can look at what I've asked you to do quick. That first folder says orientation, class orientation, complete by Friday. It's the only assignments you'll have that are due on Friday. It's just that, it's this first short week of the semester. So work your way through the class orientation, do the introduction forum, finish the 6-question orientation quiz, right? And then by Sunday, we will move on to the content of the class. I will look forward to meeting all of you. And I usually send this out by email too, but if the name you go by in the world is different from the name that legal people think that you have, please be sure to send that to me by email so I can call you by the name you use. All right, thanks so much. Have a great day.